Hi students, I welcome you all for this session. So my name is Dr. S. Devaraju, Associate Professor in the Division of Chemistry, Department of S&H. So today I am going to discuss about the topic is batteries. It comes under Engineering Chemistry A for CSE and IT students. Before going to the topic, so what are the content in this unit? So the unit 3 majorly classified into two main category. One is battery, another one fuel cell. So in the battery we are going to discuss about primary cell and secondary cell. So what is primary battery, what is secondary battery, what are the component is there in the primary and secondary, and we are going to discuss about the secondary battery, construction and working of battery. And in the secondary battery we are going to discuss about lead acid battery, nickel cadmium battery and lithium ion battery. So those things we are going to cover in the battery part. And the fuel cell part we are going to discuss about two fuel cell. One is methanol oxidation fuel cell, another one we are going to discuss about hydrogen oxidation fuel cell. So those part we are going to cover in the fuel cell. So those content we are going to discuss in your third unit. So in the next unit, next slide, we are going to discuss what are the content I am going to discuss today class. So today I am going to discuss about what about the objectives and outcome of this unit. So why we have to study unit 3 batteries and fuel cell, and what about the outcome after gone through this unit, what about the outcome students can able to learn. And secondly I am going to discuss about the introduction of battery, and I am going to discuss about the importance of battery, then I am going to discuss about history of battery, then I am going to discuss about working of battery. So those content I am going to cover the today's session. So before going to the topic, what about the objectives and outcome of this unit? We'll discuss first. What about the objective of this unit? So the unit aims to provide the basic fundamental knowledge on batteries and fuel cells. So the unit main aim of to provide the basic fundamental knowledge on batteries and fuel cells. Also this unit, the students can able to understand the working principles of batteries and fuel cells. Also the students can able to understand the types of battery and fuel cells and identify the components of batteries and fuel cell. Also the students get familiar with the working and applications of batteries and fuel cell. So those are all the objective of this unit. So this main objective of this unit, so they aims to provide the basic fundamental knowledge on the batteries and fuel cell, that students can able to understand the working principle of batteries and fuel cell, then students can understand the types of batteries and fuel cell with their components, and the students can get familiar with working and applications of batteries and fuel cell. So those are all the objective of this unit. And what about the outcome of this unit? After gone through this unit 3, the students are able to understand the basic principles of batteries and fuel cells design. So what about the first outcome? The students are able to understand the basic principles of batteries and fuel cell design. And also the students are able to differentiate between the primary and secondary battery. So primary and secondary battery, chargeable and non-chargeable batteries. Also the students can understand the chemistry behind in the batteries and fuel cell. What about the working principle, what are the components in the battery fuel cell? So those things the student can able to understand. Also the students can analyze the various aspects of battery and fuel cell. So those are all the outcome of the third unit. The next, why we have to study battery? What about the importance of battery? So the battery is the primary power source for any electronic wireless device. So the battery is the primary power source for any electronic wireless device, be it be a smartphone or laptop or watch or remote. So those things the battery used as a primary power source. And can you imagine without that battery we cannot use those energy sources like your laptop or mobile phone or your watch or remote. So we need battery. So without that power source we cannot use those things. And the electric cars and space missions would not be possible without battery. So the battery we are using in electric cars and space missions. So without battery we cannot use the electric cars, we cannot do space missions without battery. And what about some important application? Not only for that, so the battery we use in almost all the applications. So in case of consumer electronics, in the smartphone we are going to use battery, in the laptop we are going to use battery, and tablets we are going to use battery, and personal care, power tools, all those consumer electronics we are going to use batteries. Without battery we cannot use those consumer electronics. And in the case of electrical vehicle like EV vehicle or HEV or PHEV vehicle, we are going to use battery. So in the electrical vehicle, buses, cars, auto bicycle, forklift, all of the vehicles they used battery. Then in the defense and military application, we used batteries. And also we use in railways, we use in to store the energy from solar and wind energy storage, we are going to use battery. And we are using battery in telecom towers, and battery we used in marine and submarines, and battery we used in energy storage system, and battery we used in power inverters, and battery we used in mining and space application. So almost all the area, so the battery covered. So consumer electronics, electronic vehicle, defense, railways, solar and wind energy storage, telecom towers, marine and submarines, energy storage system, power inverter, mining and space application. So almost all the fields we use battery. So batteries are very, very important. So before going to that battery, so what about the history of battery? So when it started the battery? So what about the trend history of battery? We can discuss in this slide. So the battery term coined the term battery in 1748 by Benjamin Franklin. So the battery term coined in the year 1748 by Benjamin Franklin. So he invented that Baghdad battery, and later in the 1791 the electricity is conducted through animal tissue by Louis Galvani. In the 1791 Louis Galvani he introduced electricity through animal tissue for dead leg experiment, frog leg experiment. Then in the 18,000 the first electrochemical battery assembly was invented by Volta, and in the 1836 the development of first battery able to produce constant source of electricity by Daniel. So the 1836 the first battery able to produce constant source of electricity, so developed by Daniel. That cell we can call as Daniel cells. In the 1859 the invention of first rechargeable battery by Plante, it's nothing but lead acid battery. In the 1859 the invention of rechargeable battery is nothing but secondary battery by Plante. The name of the battery lead acid battery. Then 1866 the development of first prototype modern dry cell. So the dry cell invented by Lagrange, that's why the dry cell we can call with Lagrange cell. In the 1866 the development of first prototype modern dry cell. So the dry cell nothing but Lagrange cell invented by Lagrange, that's why the dry cell we can call with Lagrange cell. Then in the 1878 the invention of first air cell by Mache. So the 1878 the first air cell was invented by Mache. Then 1899 the invention of nickel cadmium battery by Jungner. So in the 1899 invention of nickel cadmium battery by Jungner, and 1901 so the nickel iron battery was invented by Edison. So in the 1901 the nickel iron battery NIFE battery invented by Edison in the year 1901. And later 1940 the development of first button cell made up of with zinc and silver oxide cell. So in the 1940 the first button cell made up of with zinc and silver oxide cell. Then in the 1947 Newman successfully sealed up the nickel cadmium battery. So in the 1947 the nickel cadmium battery seal was successfully done by Newman. Then in the 1959 first alkaline battery commercialized by Everyday Battery Company. In the 1959, the first alkaline battery was commercialized by Everyday Company, and later in the 1970, the development of nickel hydrogen battery for satellite application. In the 1970, the development of first nickel hydrogen battery for satellite application, and later in the 1973, the first commercial lithium cell battery for military application introduced by SAPT. In the 1973, the lithium cell for military application, it's introduced by SAPT. And 1975, the development of a rechargeable alkaline manganese, a RAM cell, in the year 1975, invented in the year 1975. In the later 1990, so the nickel metal hydride was commercialized by Sanyo and other companies. In the 1990, the nickel metal hydride is a secondary battery. It's commercialized by Sanyo and other companies. In 1991, the lithium ion battery was commercialized by Sony. In the 1991, the lithium ion battery is a secondary battery commercialized by Sony. And 1999, the lithium ion polymer battery invented. Then 2001, nanophosphate lithium ion battery invented. In 2010, silicon nanowire battery, and later nowadays they are inventing many new batteries in the form of sodium air and lithium ion air, zinc air, all those battery in the recent inventions. So what is battery? So battery is a device that consisting of one or more electrochemical cell. So battery is nothing but it's a storage device that consisting of one or more electrochemical cells that convert whatever the stored chemical energy into electrical energy. So battery is nothing but it's a storage device that containing one or more electrochemical cells that stored chemical energy, whatever the battery we stored that chemicals, that chemical energy convert into electrical energy. So the battery is a device consisting of one or more electrochemical cell that converts stored chemical energy into electrical energy. So the electrochemical cell, whenever you are going to talk about electrochemical cell, it consists of two half cells. So one of the half cells undergo oxidation, so another half cell undergo reduction. So nothing but both oxidation and reduction taking place simultaneously in the battery. So electrochemical cell, so two half cell, one half cell undergo oxidation, another half cell undergo reduction. So both together we can call as a redox process, redox reaction. So in detail we'll discuss about electrochemical reaction. So I gave one example. So here I choose zinc as one electrode and copper is another electrode. So both electrode they are going to immerse in their respective electrolyte. And here zinc acts as anode and copper acts as cathode. So the zinc undergo oxidation. What is oxidation? Oxidation nothing but loss of electron. Loss of electron. So the zinc undergo oxidation. So the zinc, so here the oxidation rate is 0. It undergo oxidation to form Zn2 plus and it's going to lose 2 electron. Zinc undergo oxidation. So the oxidation state 0, it's changed to Zn2 plus and loss of 2 electron. In the same time, the copper 2 plus, it undergo reduction. What is reduction? So reduction is nothing but gaining of electron. Gain of electron. It's going to gain electron. So copper 2 plus is going to gain 2 electron. It's going to form copper 0. So copper 2 plus is going to gain 2 electron. It's going to form copper. And two half cell reaction. One is oxidation half cell reaction. Another one reduction half cell reaction. And combined together the overall EMF. Combined together you are going to get zinc plus copper 2 plus, we are going to get zinc 2 plus and copper. So this is the model electrochemical reaction. And whenever you are going to talk about battery, so the battery consists of four major components. So those are all very, very important, that four major components. So that four major components, one is anode, the second one cathode, and third one the electrolyte, and the fourth one we are going to use separator. So anode, cathode, electrolyte and separator. So the battery is made up of it, anode and cathode, and which are surrounded by their electrolyte. And to separate the anode and cathode, we are going to use separator. So the major four components, the first one is anode, the second one cathode, and the third one we are going to use electrolyte, and the fourth one we are going to use separator. So those four major components are very, very important in the battery: anode, cathode, electrolyte and separator. And other than that, so one more component is there, like outer plastic layer. So outer plastic layer. So we'll discuss each components in detail. What is anode? Anode is the negative electrode of your battery. So anode as a negative electrode of battery undergo oxidation reaction. Anode is the negative electrode of the battery. It undergo oxidation and it's going to release the electron, nothing but loss of electron. So the anode acts as negative electrode of the battery. It's readily undergo oxidation. It's going to loss of electron by the external circuit, undergo oxidation reaction. In the rechargeable battery, our anode acts as both negative electrode as well as positive electrode. Negative electrode while discharging, while charging, the anode acts as positive terminal. And for example, common example for anode, they are going to use lithium, zinc, nickel, cadmium and lead are extensively used as anode material in the battery. And among all those metals, so lithium is the tops in the list due to their lowest reduction electrode potential. It's nothing but the value of minus 3.05. It readily gives the electron undergo oxidation. Then the another important components, it's a cathode. Cathode is the positive electrode of the battery. So here it undergo reduction reaction. The cathode always undergo reduction reaction. It accepts the electron. It's going to gain the electron from the external circuit. It's undergo reduction process. And the rechargeable battery, so during charging, it acts as negative terminal. So in the rechargeable battery, so cathode acts as positive electrode in the discharging state and negative terminal in the charging state. And common example for cathode, graphite rod, zinc, lead, nickel and cadmium are used as cathode in the batteries. And some of the material we can use both anode and cathode are made up of with same electrode material like lead. In the lead acid battery, we are going to use both anode and cathode as a lead material. In the anode we are going to use lead. In the cathode we are going to use lead peroxide. So in the anode we are going to use lead and cathode we are going to use lead peroxide. So both anode and cathode made up of with same material in some of the batteries. And electrolyte, so another important components in the battery, electrolyte is the main role, acts as medium for the transfer of ions from the inside the cell between anode and cathode. So it acts as medium to transfer ion transport inside the cell between anode and cathode. And here the solution of an acid or alkali or salt having high ionic conductivity. So here some of the common electrolyte, so solution of an acid or alkali or salt having high ionic conductivity. It should be no electrical conductivity and commonly used an electrolyte. And common electrolyte we are going to use either sodium chloride, nitric acid, sulfuric acid, potassium hydroxide and lithium salts and etc. commonly used electrolyte in the batteries. And the fourth component, separator. So what is the role of separator? So it is used to separate. So the component itself is there, separator. So it's going to separate the anode and cathode compartment in the battery to prevent internal short circuiting. So whatever the main role of separator, it's going to separate the anode and cathode to prevent, to avoid the internal short circuiting. So the separator, it's going to separate your anode and cathode to avoid the internal short circuit. And another main function of the separator is to allow the transport of ions from anode to cathode and cathode to anode. So another main importance of the separator. So the separator is going to allow the transport of ions from anode to cathode and cathode to anode. And it's highly resistant towards electrolyte. So whatever our separator, it's highly resistant towards electrolyte. And some of the common separator, we are going to use cellulose polymer, we are going to use vinyl polymer and polyolefinic membrane and etc. commonly used separator in the batteries. And next, so what is the working principles of battery? So how it's going to work, working principles of battery. So already I told, so battery contains four major components, anode, cathode, electrolyte, and both anode and cathode separated by separator. And anode undergo oxidation, it's going to lose the electron, it's going to loss of electron, and those electrons it's going to gain by cathode, it's going to produce the electricity energy. So anode, cathode, so anode undergo oxidation process is going to lose the electron, so the loss of electron is going to gain by cathode undergo reduction. So both oxidation and reduction process involved in the battery. That's why this process we can call as a redox reaction. Redox reaction. Both oxidation and reduction taking place simultaneously. So anode undergo oxidation and cathode undergo reduction. And that electrolyte it's going to allow the ion transport between anode and cathode, cathode and anode. And separator is going to separate the anode and cathode to avoid the short circuit. So during discharging, that anode undergo oxidation, it's going to lose their electron, and those electrons it's going to gain by cathode, it's undergo reduction, then it's going to produce the energy, electricity. So this is the basic principle of battery, working of battery. During discharging of the cell, so during discharge of cell, the electrochemical cell reaction, both oxidation and reduction, that converts the stored chemical energy into electrical energy. During discharge, whatever we stored the chemical, that chemical energy converts into electrical energy. It's going to produce electricity. It acts as voltaic or galvanic cell. So this discharging process is a spontaneous reaction. Del G always less than 0. Del G always less than 0. It's a spontaneous reaction. And during discharging charging the anode generally it acts as negative electrode, undergo oxidation, and cathode undergo reduction is a positive electrode during discharging. During charging, the charging of the cell, by applying, here we are going to apply the external DC current, that whatever the electric energy, it's converted into chemical energy. It's reversed to the discharging process. During discharging, whatever we stored that chemical energy converted to electrical energy. By charging, we are going to apply the external current, so that electrical energy, it's converted to chemical energy, electron reaction in reverse direction when compared with to the discharging reaction. And here, it acts as electrolytic cell, it's a non-spontaneous reaction. During charging, our battery acts as electrolytic cell. During charging, so the battery acts as electrolytic cell, the electrical energy converted into chemical energy. So this reaction is non-spontaneous reaction, del G is greater than 0. And here that anode is positive, anode is a positive electrode and cathode is a negative electrode. So anode undergo reduction and cathode undergo oxidation, the reverse reaction of discharging. Thank you.